Welcome to I Said What I Said. I'm Brad Wakai. That's Tyson Gentry. We're back in the saddle again, folks. This is our AFC West preview. We've done the AFC South. We've done the NFC South. In this iteration, we're doing AFC West. And then the next episode that's coming out, we'll be doing the NFC West. So go check out those other videos if you haven't. Smash the like button on this one. If you're listening to podcast form, give us a rating, give us a review. Send us a question, too. It's been a while since we answered anything. So if you got anything, put a 5 stars in, 4 stars, whatever the case, however you're feeling, but give us a question and we'll answer it for you on here as we dive into the AFC West. We get ready for football season, Tyson. I know you're pumped up.
Was that off the top, back in the saddle, AFC West? Were you going to give me a little Broncos country?
I wasn't, because Russ Wilson's no longer here. It's been too long. Broncos country or let's ride. Is that
there you go. Yeah, there it is.
So if you guys, is this your first time tuning in, this is what we're going to do. We're going to take a look at some of the overarching future, things like that. We're going to dive into each team, talk about some win totals, give our expectations of the teams, everything like that as we kind of go through everything as we get ready for the first start of the football season. But Tyson, Kansas City Chiefs, unsurprisingly, everybody, minus 110 favorite in this division. It's actually the Denver Broncos who are the second favorites here at plus 280, Los Angeles Chargers plus 330, then the Las Vegas Raiders at plus 1,100. I mean, how many people have been trying to attack the Kansas City Chiefs in this division, and it's failed every single time? Feels to me like this could be another boom spot year for the Chiefs, and we'll get into that later.
Yeah, it was. I was looking through the odds, and it was like, oh, Denver looks really good. I think they're sitting at plus 280. The Chargers are at plus 330. They could, win 12 games, and it's probably going to be Kansas City. Like, we're just going to the Super Bowl was a blowout and all this stuff, and they didn't win any games in impressive fashion last season, it felt like, and now we're going to go in this season and they're going to win 13 games again.
It's just every single time, right? That's what it is, and we'll dive into them a little bit further. But Tyson and I, as we're looking here, I mean, they're minus 110. That's on FanDuel, so if you can get a better number, they're probably just going to win the division. And I'm not taking any action on it, but it feels, and there's no such thing as a safe bet, but feels like that if you're going to attack something here, you probably want to do it with the Kansas City Chiefs. Let's dive into the Las Vegas Raiders, though, because Tyson, Pete Carroll's taken over as the head coach. Geno Smith's the quarterback. So to me, and we talked about this when the coaching change first went down, it finally feels like the Raiders have a clear direction of where they want this program to go, right? Because you take a shot on Josh McDaniels, and everybody's like, I don't know, and then it fizzles out. Then you go to Antonio Pierce, and it's like, well, the coaching staff is probably way behind the 8 ball comparatively to others. And we haven't figured out the quarterback. We're kind of wondering what we're going to go. Okay, let's get serious. Let's hire Pete Carroll. We know what we're getting. And let's go get Geno Smith, an established quarterback, because we figured out for the future. At least to me going into this season, I'm like, finally, there is a vision for the Las Vegas Raiders.
No, definitely. We talked about it. That made me laugh, though, because, like, hey, we got to turn this thing around. Let's get the 73-year-old guy to lead us in the future. And, hopefully it's awesome. This is a couple of the teams in this division are on paper. And, like, is what we'll talk about. The Raiders are way better on paper. Like, just bringing Geno Smith in, bringing Pete Carroll in. We're all so excited to watch 𝐻𝐭 Gentry. This offensive line might not let him run wild right away. But, like, they can be improved and still win 5 games, I think. And that's where things are going to get a little tricky in the narrative here for the Raiders.
Yeah, they went 4-13 last year, 2-6 at home, 2-7 away, so kind of even split. So you can't really point to anything like, oh, Allegiant Stadium is great for them. Or, it's just not a good program right now, and that's where we're at. I think we have some defensive questions, but like Tyson said, it's going to be exciting because you have Brock Bowers and you got a quarterback who can get him the football. Trey Tucker, I know people love him. Jacoby Myers has been awesome since leaving the Patriots, and then you mentioned 𝐻𝐭 Gentry. Now, that should be awesome. Like you said, is the offensive line going to do him any favors? We'll see. I mean, Jackson Powers Johnson at least is, somebody you can build around there. I think the Colton Miller still at left tackle. That's something. But the Raiders, to me, Tyson, it's just not about what's going to happen on the field this year. It's about getting the right people in place and just like, okay, let's build for a culture.
Yeah, and be a little bit more physical, all that stuff. But, Brad, you ran through the weapons and no love for Deontay Thornton. This is a guy that's apparently ripping camp up. He's getting the ball every play. The preseason game starts. He's targeted twice. He's 6'5". He runs a 4.3. Now, I would be over the moon if this hit, because this is like the premier archetype for wide receiver. But remember when they had who did John Gruden say was Randy Moss mixed with Jerry Rice? He's out the league.
I'm not sure.
It'll come to me in 20 minutes.
It'll come. Yeah, I can't. I don't know, but no. But Tyson, this is the other thing too. Is like if the player you hate is performing terribly in preseason or camp, he sucks. Mm-hmm. If the player you love is performing great in camp and preseason, he's great. It just never fails. Like it is such like, oh, I already have my mind made up, so I'm going to use this as a way. Or if the player you like isn't performing well in preseason camp, well, it's preseason, it doesn't matter. It's just so classic.
It's the only thing it's really good for us.
That's true. Tyson, 6.5 wins on the over/under. This is at DraftKings minus 145 juice to the over. Now, they won 4 games last year. You said they could maybe get better, win 5 games. What do you think? That seems a little juicy to me. I think maybe if you want to tack on the under at plus 120, that could be a play there.
Yeah, I mean, I'm much closer to 5 than I am to 7.
Let's move into the Denver Broncos. Bo Nix, I mean, there was a lot of doubters, but Tyson, he's got a ton of reps coming out of college. And, the whole Bill Parcells thing, I want guys who have reps. I want guys who've had snaps. They have to have started this many games. And for a while, I think the NFL went away from that because they're like, well, we just want to get the most talented guys. Like, we want talent. We want to be able to get the second contract as a quarterback. But if, you can't play, you just wasted a premium draft pick. I think we're going back to –
Do we have any examples of that maybe happened within the last 24 hours?
Will that be Anthony Richardson as we called on our AFC South preview?
I was just asking.
Oh, yeah. It's go listen to that, folks. I mean, whenever you're listening to this, go listen to our AFC South preview. We called it exactly, and we'll give you our thought process on exactly why we think they made the right decision. But, it was telling to me, Tyson, that Sean Payton's like, I want Bo Nix. Like, he's like, I want somebody who can run my complex system. And I think we saw the fruits of the labor last year. They go 10-7, make the playoffs. Everybody's like, whoa, they came out of nowhere for this.
Yeah, and you said the old Bill Parcells thing, but who did Sean Payton come up under, right? And we should have maybe known, or I should have known a little better than I did last offseason. I let the Oregon hate and the Auburn hate blind me when it came to Bo Nix. But he was awesome, dude. Over the last 8 weeks, he was on a 45 touchdown pace. The skill position guys are good. I think RJ Harvey isn't going to be Alvin Kamara that we saw when Alvin came in out of Tennessee, but I think that this could add something pretty huge for this backfield, him and J.K. Dobbins, because last year it was bad. Javonte Williams looked awful. McLaughlin looked awful. Audric Estime looked fine. And we were excited about Audric Estime. Brad, how many Notre Dame running backs have come in the NFL and run a 4.7? And outside of Kyron Williams, they're all out of the league right away. And this was a guy we were trying to talk ourselves into. If they can run the ball and get running back involved in this offense, that's another level they can get to. And the defense was the best in the league a year ago. Like, on paper, again, this team has a shot to win the division.
Yeah, and you got to give a shout out to Vance Joseph. I mean, he was getting made fun of when he was freaking defensive coordinator or the head coach for the Cardinals. And this defense is freaking sick, man. They just rolled the ball out there. The defense is going to take care of it. And if Bo Nix can do enough to win football games with the limited weapons that he had, he did. Can Marvin Mims take a step forward? This is kind of how I'm looking at things. Can Marvin Mims finally take that step forward? We'll see. Pat Bryant, Troy Franklin. The 2 slot guys, the 2 outside guys, and some of the younger pieces, if they can develop, Tyson, I think this is a much better set of weapons for Bo Nix. And then on our lads, their depth chart, they got RJ Harvey starting over J.K. Dobbins. What do you think of that? And I'll let you kind of unpack whichever one. He's
going to start, I think. Maybe not right away, and there was the overreaction to RJ Harvey's 5th on the depth chart in training camp, and it's like that's what Sean Payton does to all of his rookies. But they took the guy at 60th. You don't take a running back in the second round with a team that you want to win games, you want to win playoff games, and not want them to play over a guy that you signed late in the process here for a pretty minimal amount of money in J.K. Dobbins. So I think RJ Harvey is going to get the share of the workload. I keep laughing because when you looked at Vance Joseph in the corner, I just have had is having the time of his life by Sergio Dip playing. It's the greatest video in the history of professional sports. If you haven't seen it, just go ahead and Google it.
Oh, it is hilarious. You calling a Mims breakout this year, though? Or are you still afraid to jump on that?
I think the ADOT has to go up, average at the target. Just that's where I'm at. But it was great at the end of last season, and like against the Bengals, he was the best player on the field. Like this, this dude and T. Higgins were going shot for shot, and I think we'll see. It's a Sean Payton player who kind of profiles more as a gadget guy than like a true, member of like 11 personnel or something. So that part, how much is he going to play?
Right. I think Evan Engram coming over from the Jags too,
Huge.
Huge weapon, I think, for Bo Nix. And how's he going to be used? And is he take away slot targets? I think that's the other thing you want to consider here if you're kind of looking like who on this offense is going to take the step forward. Because Courtland Sutton, we kind of know what he's going to be, right? He's going to be consistent. He's going to be the great pass catcher.
He's going to be the 18th best receiver in the NFL every year.
He's going to catch what? He's 70 yards a game.
Yeah, he's gonna hit 85 catches. He's gonna have 1,100 yards maybe at the end of the year, and he might have 10 touchdowns. That'd be a great season.
Over under for the Broncos on DraftKings, 9.5 is the mark. Minus 125 juice to the over, plus 105 to the under. I think that's about right here for the Broncos. They won 10 games last year. I think they're better equipped as a team overall. You mentioned the running game. I think it should be improved with RJ Harvey and Dobbins. I think if you can take the next step forward with those weapons, second year under Bo Nix, and a defense that I think could even get better. You get Dre Greenlaw, 𝐽𝐽 coming over as well in the back end. Like, there's not a lot of pieces that are gone from this Broncos defense, and they added some too. I think that's encouraging. Where are you at for what's successful for the Broncos and that win total in particular?
I think success is, again, making the playoffs. I think they should aim to win a playoff game, but I'm not holding it over their heads if they get there. I'm old enough to remember when quarterbacks were supposed to break out in year 3, and year 2 was supposed to be the regressing spot. So this has been really funny reading about how Bo Nix is going to take over the league. Like C.J. Stroud didn't just have the year he had a year ago.
Right. And that's kind of where I'm at too, because I'm always pumping the brakes on people have quarterbacks who have the breakout rookie season. I'm like, sophomore slump, guys. We saw it. Freaking Cam Newton. If that guy can have a slump, like, come on. So I'm with you there. And Bo Nix was really good, and I think it helps that he has Sean Payton, but regression could be coming. A guy who's limited talent-wise. So that's something to keep an eye on as you look into the Denver Broncos and get ready for their season. The Los Angeles Chargers. So they go 11-6 last year under the first year of Jim Harbaugh, and it's like, wow, there's a different culture, there's a different vibe, and I think they're more physical. It was all about the defense for a start. The offense that'll come along, and at times it did. Still limited. And I think if you're looking at things on paper, they get back Keenan Allen, but he's a shell of himself comparatively to what he was. Maybe he can perform. Trey Harris is a rookie, Condre Lambert-Smith, rookies. That's really who you're going to start on the other side of Vlad McConkey. So I have a ton of question marks about this offense. Omarion Hampton probably going to start. Najee Harris, I don't know what the deal is with him at the running back spot there, but is the offensive line going to be good enough? Like, where are you at with the Chargers if you're looking into this season coming off an 11-6 campaign where they disappointed again in the playoffs?
Tell me if this makes sense. Are the Chargers the highest floor, lowest ceiling team in the NFL? The team something would have to go wrong for this team to win 6 games, I think. But
yeah,
the Chargers aren't winning the Super Bowl.
No. And everybody's going to point to Justin Herbert, which I'm starting to come around to Justin Herbert because I don't know if you saw, he was spotted with Madison Beer. So
I don't know who that is.
I didn't really know either, but the internet was going crazy, and I was like, "Oh, that's interesting."
Yeah, good for him.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a Montana connection there. His brother went to Montana State, so we always love Herbert around here. But I think Keenan Allen coming back, we'll see how that factors in. This is going to have to be a mix of what we've seen with Justin Herbert early in his career. And what we saw last year with Greg Roman and Jim Harbaugh. They're going to want to run the football, and that's going to be awesome. That offensive line is going to be a little bit worse. Like, the highest paid guy in the league. Rashawn Slater is out for the year with a torn ACL. So it might be another year of Herbert getting the ball out quick, processing-wise, just being better than the defense. And, I am fully prepared for the Los Angeles Chargers to win 12 games and for me to be betting against them come the wild card round. You know what I mean?
Oh, for sure. And going back to your floor ceiling thing, I mean, what's the floor? 9 games or the 9 games, right?
Yeah, they're close to each other too, the floor and the ceiling.
Right. Because everybody thinks Justin Herbert. We can have this conversation now because what drives us crazy is that we have these conversations about quarterbacks in the NFL. Everybody points to arm talent. Everybody points to, oh, well, this guy's super good or he does all these things. But at the end of the day, you're supposed to be winning football games. The Chargers have had so many talented players with Justin Herbert. Now, a lot of it's been on the defense. And I'm not saying Brandon Staley is, Bill Belichick by any means, because we called him a slap for so long. But I mean, my God, man, you got to win freaking football games. And Justin Herbert has not done that. And when it's been the biggest moments, he has crumbled. He has not been good in the playoffs. And yet this guy gets a pass constantly because he's got a big arm. Now, it's year 2 under Harbaugh. He can take that next step. And if he does, maybe it's not Harbaugh. Maybe it's Madison Beer. Maybe we should give her a shout out. But
she did it.
We need to see it soon, man. I mean, what's going on with Herbert? I know this is something that drives you crazy, so I want to get you a chance to get this off your chest.
Well, I love Justin Herbert. I just personally am kind of over, and there's a couple other quarterbacks that fit into this category. Tua before all the concussions, but there are these guys where they're 200-0 in hypotheticals, and you see the flags behind us. So everyone's looking at this, knowing what color glasses we have on. But look, dude, they blew a 27-point lead in the playoffs. Trevor Lawrence gets no credit for the comeback win by anybody, but Justin Herbert doesn't get any blame. He threw 4 picks last year against the Texans. And it's like, well, the Texans won a playoff game. That's good for them. And Herbert's going to be great next year. What? I personally, no other quarterback in the NFL gets the passes he gets. Because we all know he's awesome. And that's great. But eventually Andrew Luck had to win before some of there were doubters, and this is the greatest prospect we've ever seen, and it took the comeback in the playoffs for everyone to be like, hey man, I think this guy can win the Super Bowl. I haven't had I think Justin Herbert can win the Super Bowl thing yet. And to me, that's kind of where I get confused, is he looks awesome and he's great when you have him, he's all world aesthetically. But what moment has Justin Herbert had? He threw for 5,000 yards as a rookie. Great. How many games did he win? And that's not on him, but how many games they win year 2? And then year 3, when they do win, what happened? They get to the playoffs, and that's kind of where I'm at. Look, I want this guy to be hoisting a Lombardi trophy. I think he deserves it. He's just the way he plays quarterback is picture perfect. You just have to score more points than the other team, and he doesn't do that very well when it matters.
Yeah, and I think that's the thing, and that's the conversation.
And he can't layer the football for anything. That's probably dude. He throws the ball so hard.
That's the other thing. Justin Herbert is, and I'm a fan of Justin Herbert too. I mean, who's not? The guy's got a rocket arm. He's big. He's strong. He's tough. All those good things you want to talk about in a quarterback. And it'd be sick if he was the one that led the Chargers to a championship. In those if they bring back what they should, those light blue jerseys, just make those the freaking jerseys, and permanently. For the home games, we're talking. And that if that's lifting up the Lombardi trophy, that'd be sick. But like Tyson's pointing out here, we can't pick and choose when quarterbacks are good, when quarterbacks are bad. Especially this is the most important position in sports. You impact winning more than every other position in sports, except for maybe the superstar player in basketball. It's like the 1-and-1. Those are the one things you can point to, right? If we're saying that, and we know that, and the Chargers have constantly underperformed, there's a correlation here somewhere, and some people don't want to see it. And if you're not pointing it out, it's not we're saying Justin Herbert sucks. We don't think that at all, but it's we need to see the next step, because you can not win, right? You can still be a great talent, but then you're Jeff George, or then you're Dan Marino, and you can point to and say, wow, great career, an awesome player, but you're not Tom Brady, you're not Joe Montana, and you're not any of these greats that have come through and have won games and done the things like put up stats. So I think that's where we're both at with Herbert. We want him to take the next step. That's what we want here on the outside.
I want him to win a playoff game so bad. I'm not asking for the Super Bowl right now. I just let's put 30 on somebody and hold a lead.
Over under here on DraftKings, 9.5 minus 105 for the over, minus 115 for the under. So basically what we all just said. Take that in consideration as we're discussing this, because we're talking about a high floor or high floor, maybe low ceiling type of team. But the books are telling you, 9 wins is probably more likelier for the Chargers. Where are you at when you look at that number?
Outside of running back, where they get better?
I think on paper you could point to and say wide receiver, because you got the 2 rookies, explosive guys. Again, they're rookie wide receivers. You never know. But that's a question mark for me as well. I think it's really just running back, to be honest with you.
And that is where it's I'm not touching this. Because I think for those boom spots, if we're expecting if you bet this, you want, you're you're not hoping for 10 wins. You're betting this number thinking Chargers are like, this is an 11-win team easy. And I don't see that. Like I'm not playing with it if I think they're going to win 10.
Yeah, and if we think the Raiders are going to be improved, if we think the Broncos are going to be good again with their defense, and we think the Chiefs are going to have a really good year, which we'll get into now, you want to be able to have an attackable division. And I think the Chargers are in a tough division. So, yeah, I'm staying away from it for sure. I think the only thing I really like is the Broncos so far. Nothing official yet. Tyson, I'll do something official maybe before the season and all that good stuff.
All the Amari and Hampton props.
There we go. There's a little nugget for you. Let's get into the Chiefs because they came up short in their quest for history, much to our enjoyment and much to our delight. But they went 15-2 last year. Looked like they were running on easy mode for a lot of stuff, Tyson. A lot of people are saying, wow, they me included. I was like, they just can't keep getting away with this, right? And
they didn't.
They fucking did until they ran into a truck in the Super Bowl. And it was like, oh, all that smoke and mirrors finally came crashing down. This is still Patrick Mahomes. This is still Andy Reid. As you're getting into this, and I spelled it wrong. That's just so disrespectful here for Kansas City Chiefs. As we're getting into the season for the Chiefs, Tyson, where are you viewing where they're at coming off the Super Bowl defeat?
So what I keep hearing is like they losing to the Eagles, and that's the aura is gone or whatever. And it's like, well, they beat Josh Allen. They beat all the guys that they always beat in order to get there, and they won all these one-score games. And you're going to read and hear people. They don't blow anybody out anymore. They run this dink and dunk offense. I just don't think that. Like Patrick Mahomes has been so inefficient. You know who else is hearing that? 15, Pat Mahomes. Like he's going to come out. Xavier Worthy, I think, is going to have a heck of a first 6 games without 𝐸'Zie Rice. And the way that he closed the year last year into the playoffs, and then although it was garbage time, like the kid went for 140 and 2 touchdowns in the Super Bowl. Like that's a pretty good building block for a rookie. I think that the rumors of Kansas City's death have been greatly exaggerated. The defense is still really good. They're going to be the best coach team in the league again, and they got the best quarterback. Look, Travis Kelce might take a step back. That's fine. The Chiefs are going to win their 10th straight division title.
Yeah, I think they're going to win it too, and we'll get into closing thoughts here to kind of throw it. But 𝐸'Zie Rice going to be available for the first 4, right? That's what everybody's pissed about. I'm wondering,
like, I'm kind of the mind, like, we'll find out in a week, but I think the NFLPA is going to be like, hey, sit down and take this. This will be retroactive, afterwards, and then we'll just be able to get you out and rolling. But who knows?
Right. And so as we're recording this, if something changes, if, he's suspended, then we'll do a separate episode on this. But 𝐸'Zie Rice is going to be playing football for the Kansas City Chiefs this year. Now, how is he going to look coming off the injury? That's something that it will be determined, but he's a really good football player in college.
Better than Juju.
Really good. Hollywood Brown. I think this could be a big bounce back for him. Now, that guy was overhyped, and this is somebody that Tyson I've always circled. But I think he could have a good year this year. And Xavier Worthy's in a boom spot. Like, he could be awesome. But Tyson, it's going to come down to the offensive line. Josh Simmons, rookie left tackle. Is that who you want protecting Patrick Mahomes? I mean, Trey Smith, right guard, okay. But again, Jawan Taylor, that's who you're running out there at right tackle. So I think there are concerns. And then, yes, Travis Kelce, you don't need him for the regular season, especially based on how good the Chiefs are probably going to be. But he did not crank up that next gear in the playoffs when it mattered, right? Like when they beat the Niners, that playoff run was sick. It did not really happen like that last year. So I'm wondering if we really are on hole 18 here for his career.
Have we ever had like an undisputed top 5 quarterback that it's been so difficult for their organization to place tackles around them? Like, it's possible, and I just don't know. But it feels like the Chiefs are recycling these guys every season. It's like we do this with the Bengals, and everyone gives Joe Burrow a ton of credit. It's like Pat Mahomes is playing with new bookends all the time.
I was going to say the Bengals. That's like what you could point to. I mean, what back in the day, Texas, David Carr when he got killed. But yeah, let's look at the win total here because I think this is interesting. 11.5 on DraftKings is plus 100 for the over, minus 120 to under 11.5. This is a team coming off a 15-2 season, who I think got better, went to the Super Bowl. And yet the books are telling you we think they're probably going to win 10 games. Is that wrong? Like, would you attack? I wouldn't attack it, me personally, but like, where are you standing on that?
No, I think that honestly, there's a pretty good chance that this whole or the three teams in this division outside of the Raiders are all like bundled up there at 9, 10, and 11. And I like Chiefs' schedule is pretty brutal. I don't know if like, look, you can still be the best team in the league and win 12. Like that's just that's how it works.
And all the Chiefs really need to do is just get into the playoffs. Like we've seen that. Hey, get into the playoffs. We got 15. We got Andy Reid. Let's figure it out from there. Let's get into closing thoughts. So I'm not laying minus 110 on this division. Kansas City's probably going to win this division. I mean, that's where I'm at with these guys. It's just rinse, recycle, repeat on the Kansas City Chiefs winning the AFC West. If I had to attack it with somebody, I think you probably want to go with the Denver Broncos. Elite defense, an ability to have beaten the Chiefs in the past. With the Raiders. Yeah, well, yeah, but I don't know. We're going to go with that roster. But, you know, at least an elite defense is going to keep you in the game as best as you can, and then maybe a higher ceiling offense of attack with year two with Sean Payton, with Bo Nix. That's where I'm at with that. But I would not do it. I think the Chiefs are going to cruise in this division. They're going to come out on top again.
I think that it's going to be a slow burn this year for the Kansas City Chiefs. I think we're sitting here after week 6 and we're like, what's wrong with KC? Like, are they ever going to – and then we're going to look up and they're going to have won 5 or 6 in a row, and they might just end up sitting starters.
They're going to do the middle of the pack or middle of the career Tom Brady type of thing where it's like, hey, we just figured things out in September, and then all of a sudden it's like, oh, yeah, they are the best team in the league.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's get out of here. Like, subscribe, and share the show. Smash that like button if you're watching on YouTube. Share it with a friend. Share it with enemy. You guys know the drill. Again, go back and listen. We're doing previews. So stay subscribed. Don't miss a single thing we do. We're going to get you ready as we come up. Week freaking 0 here is here in college football. Like, we're doing our first betting episode of the year. We are pumped up. I'm pumped up at least. We're trying to attack and get our lick back for what happened last year. So tune in later in the week. Listen to the NFC West preview. We'll talk to you guys when we talk to you. Till then, peace.